Shrines look that way. That's where the flags are. I'm definitely out of place in the crowd. So they're all pulling the rope. These changed. See how those are different? And it just switched over from this building to that one. Hey guys, it's Thursday, and hopefully I've still got that footage for you from the fall festival that they had with where they're pulling the shrines, and there's kids inside actually playing the drums while they were spinning it around. So that was really cool. I left my house at just the right time to be able to see it. I wasn't actually sure what time it was, or even if I'd missed it or whatever. So I was really happy I was able to see it, and hopefully I'll be able to show it to you. So today, I guess you can kind of see on my hands. So today in one of my classes, in my last class, and again, I've been teaching, I think I mentioned earlier, but if I didn't, I've been teaching some of the older students checkers. The two boys today actually picked it up really fast and they really liked it. They finished it. Where the other kids would sit there and they're not really sure what to do. And they'd think for a long time. And I'm like, okay, we got to end it, you guys. This was just a quick 5-10 minute thing. These guys are blasted through a game in 3 minutes. But, during lunch, I had been playing with one of the kids and I wrote on my hand. It's kind of fading away now, but I don't know if any of you guys ever did this, but I used to do this all the time. It was, "This is Joe." Say hi, Joe. Clap for Joe. Uh-oh. And it was still, it's so childish, but I used to do it all of the time. And one of the two boys, these are two junior high boys. They're third year junior high, which is 9th grade equivalent. One of the boys just thought that was the funniest thing. He literally lost it and was just laughing, which actually made me feel really good. But because they said, what's on your hand? What's on your hand? And I showed them, and the boy that saw it thought it was just so funny. And he's like, oh, I have to do it. So he did it with his friend Owie. He's like, this is Owie. And he drew Owie's face and then just made a mess all over his other hand. But I was glad I could share that with them. Other than that, I wanted to do a quick little pronunciation thing, because I've had people tell me how do you pronounce Japanese names? It's really hard to pronounce Japanese names. And it's not. Japanese is incredibly easy to pronounce as soon as you know what the letters sound like. Now there are letters or sounds that we don't have in English. So the da-ri-ru-re-do, which is somewhere between an L and an R sound, that's hard to make and definitely makes you stand out as a foreigner if you try to pronounce it. But as far as basics, every sound always sounds the same. And they get the difficulty when kanji comes in, because kanji has many, which is the Chinese characters that they then use for Japanese, and they use it differently than the Chinese use it. And they have onyomi and kunyomi. the original Chinese way of saying it and then the Japanese way of saying it, and sometimes there's even more ways of saying it. So the difficulty definitely comes in there in reading. But if you have it written out for you in Romanji or in Roman letters, like the alphabet, the English alphabet that we are used to, it's very straightforward. A, the letter A will always be sounded A. E will always be E. I will always be I. O will always be O. And U will always be U. So A, E, I, O, U. Always. And then they have consonants, which they put in front of them. Not all of them. They have K, S, T, H, M, N, the RL equivalent, W and Y, but W and Y don't have a full set of vowels that go with them. For example, KA will always be ka. Always. And so when you string them together, if, for example, I have a student named Kimiko, K-I, so K-I, always. Ki, M-I, mi, K-O, ko, Kimiko, always. So as soon as you know how the vowels sound, and again, getting around that RL equivalent, it's usually written as R in textbooks when in Japanese, or learning Japanese textbooks, but often with names. Like I have a girl named Luna, R-U-N-A, but she spells it in Romanji L-U-N-A instead, because it's supposed to sound like Luna, because her parents named her for the moon, which is really cool. But either way, so that's the basics. As long as you know how to say the vowels, the consonants are straightforward and you will never make a mistake as long as it is written in Roman letters and there are no R's and L's. But then, I mean, just kind of get it in between an R and an L and do your best. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it's Friday, and that means it was kindergarten today. And the oldest class, there's 3 classes at kindergarten. The Bada class, which means rose. The next class is tulip and sakura, which is tulip and cherry blossom. And then the oldest one is yuri, which means lily. And so all flowers. So the Bada class is the baby class up until the age of 2. And then tulip and sakura are 3 and 4. And then yuri is the 4, 5, 6. And today, Yuri class the oldest class wasn't there, and they actually went sweet potato picking, and they were going to ask us to go with them. But the Bada class, the baby class, the Rose class, apparently really liked English lessons, and they didn't want to have us not be there, because we would have gone with the Yuri class instead of doing the lessons for the other 2 classes. But the baby class apparently was really excited about English, and they didn't want to miss it. And I thought that was really sweet, and it made me really happy. And the babies, there's some infants in that class as well, but the ones that are getting a little bit older can actually sing the ABCs and clap, and is really exciting. And when I first started, both of the 2 older classes, I say older, but they're still really young, when class was finished, they would rush me and I would get hugs from all these little kids, which is awesome. And of course I have a bunch of dirty hands, but you just don't think about that, and you just take a shower at the end of the day. But it's just a whole bunch of little warm, happy, unconditionally loving bodies just piling on you, and it's I don't know, it's really sweet and it's comforting. But they got a teacher who was like, no, don't do that. My first winter here, I got really, really sick. I still went to work, but I didn't want them hugging me because I didn't want to pass that on. So there were a couple weeks there where I'm like, please don't hug me, I'm sick. And I tried to tell them, it's okay, you can hug me again when I was better. And they did that. But then the teacher kind of got that idea. It's like, well, that's better that they don't rush out of their seats. And that is probably better for them to learn that they shouldn't rush people. But it was really sad because then they didn't hug me anymore. And I was really sad. Some of them would still try and get up. And, but when they're not in the classroom, they still rush me. So after class, they all carry their chairs, the middle class, all carry their chairs into this next room to have they have drink your tea and snack time. But in that, if I'm still in that room waiting for Yuri to be finished so that I can go start the final lesson for the oldest class, then I get rushed. So I got rushed today, and it was wonderful. And I had a bunch of kids all over me, like pushing my face and stuff. And I don't know, it's wonderful. I love it. And I haven't taken a shower yet because I make sure I do this before I relieve myself of my pants. Because who wants to wear their pants at home anyway? I mean, come on. All right, sorry, TMI. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. It is absolutely beautiful outside, and I was inside cleaning my house all day, and then I came outside and I was like, damn it, I should have been outside all day. Are you happy? I'm happy. You're so happy. That's so beautiful. Happy birthday, Liz. Oh, hello.
Do you need this little plate though? Maybe not. I'll just use it.
So much mayonnaise.
I love mayonnaise.
It's your birthday. You can put on as much mayonnaise as you want.
It's the icing on the cake. Here, I'll do this.
Hey guys, it's Saturday and it's 4:05 a.m. and I just got home. A bunch of the ALTs and I went and we celebrated Liz's birthday with her today. So we all met around 6 o'clock and went to okonomiyaki to eat okonomiyaki. And if you don't know what that is, you should look it up because I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's a whole bunch of good stuff piled together and cooked on a grill. And then afterwards we went back and we played a bunch of games and talked for a long time and it was a lot of fun. But now I'm very tired. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. There go the rice. They just got sheared, harvested. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's cool. It's the changing of the season, but I really like the sound of rustling rice stalks. Hey guys, it's Sunday, and I bought pumpkins! Little pumpkins! But pumpkins here are called kabucha, and they're actually smaller, and they have a green exterior, and then they're orange inside, and they kind of have a pumpkin flavor, but they're a lot different. And the inside is really thick with a very small amount of hollow area with the seeds, as opposed to the pumpkins in the United States, at least, that are larger and very gourd-like and hollow, more hollow in the middle with just a little bit around the sides. But these are at the store today, so you can't really carve those other ones. And you can't really carve these. I actually have carved one before, but I bought them and they came with, oh, here it is. They came with these little stickers. So you actually take the little stickers off and you stick them on the pumpkin. but I was just happy to have kind of like a Halloween decoration. But yeah, so those are my Halloween decorations. And this next week is the week before Halloween. And last year we didn't have a Halloween party, but this year we will. So it won't actually be in this video. I'll try and get it in the next one. If I'm not too busy, we'll see. So on the 25th, we'll be having a Tsukasa School Halloween party, which we're having, I think we actually are gonna have like 35 something odd kids come, which is great. And a lot of the ALTs are gonna come and help us out, and maybe I'll get some more pumpkins to decorate for that, because they were really cheap. They were like $1.50 or something like that. But yeah, so that's today. I relaxed. The weather was amazing today. It wasn't so cool yet, but I've shown you, I think, a video of the little stink bugs they have here, and they are out in force. So it is definitely the fall now. But today's weather was awesome. So I just went out and sat and read at Yume Koen. And I don't think I've gotten a picture of Yume Koen yet, but Yume Koen literally means Dream Park. And it's the main park in Yamasaki, and all the kids were out playing, and there were a bunch of skateboarders out there, and there was a foreigner there. And a lot of people stare at me because I'm foreign, and it's just because we are the vast minority. And it's not, they're usually not bad stares, just people surprised that a foreigner's there. And I found that now I do the same thing if I see a foreigner I don't know. If it's someone I know, of course, I usually wave. Like today I saw Tina and Sheena walking down the street, so I waved. But when I see a foreigner I don't know, it's usually, who is that? Why are they in Yamasaki? Because it's such a small population. The town is such a small population. It's surprising to see someone you don't know. Anyway, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Hey guys, it's Monday. I'm afraid that this week's is going to be really boring because it's just a whole bunch of prep. Next week I have the party, and then the week after, or at least the video after, will be the International Festival. But this week is just living life. Maybe I'll clean up my house a bit more so I can give you guys a house tour, but maybe not. And if I don't, I'll cut this little bit out so you'll never know that I was thinking about giving you a house tour. Yeah, one of my friends that I met online like 8 years ago, and I've never actually met her, but she lives in Australia, is actually going to come to Japan in the spring. So I'm going to get to see her. I've actually met one other person from the same site. They came last year and we met in Kyoto. It was really cool, and we hung out and we walked around. It was nice to finally meet them. If you guys want to come, let me know. I'm more than happy to have people come. Or if you are visiting Japan for an unrelated reason, but would like to meet up, let me know before you get here. And I will, especially if it's on a weekend, I'll make arrangements to travel to you and walk around with you, especially if it's somewhere I haven't been. I'd love to explore new places. I'm trying to explore as many as I can. I've gotten most of the big cities so far, but there's still a lot that I haven't seen. So, and if you haven't considered coming to Japan, you should consider coming to Japan. I'd love to show you guys around Yamasaki, but it's not as exciting. It is pretty cool. I do like it here, but it's very countryside. But there's a lot of other things that I do know that I can help you out. The next time I have a long weekend, I'm going to try and go up to Kyoto for you guys. And because I love going to Kyoto. I will go to Kyoto as many times as I possibly can. Kind of like the Phantom of the Opera of cities. I will see Phantom of the Opera as many times as I possibly can. I will go to Kyoto as many times as I possibly can. So I'll see if I can get there sometime soon. Just do like a weekend trip up there and take you to some of the more famous shrines, like around the Gion area, around the old town area, because there's a lot of good temples and shrines right in there, and because I want to do some Christmas shopping. Okay, so again, just talking now, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. It's 11:05 and I'm finally going home, and this is what I've been doing. Halloween guessing game. Eyeballs, brain, teeth, heart, intestines. And for anyone who ever went to a Halloween party where you stick your hands in and it's like peeled grapes for eyeballs and stuff. So eyeballs, brain. What else did I draw? Brain, teeth, heart, intestines. So we're doing, for intestines, overcooked spaghetti. For heart, we're doing konnyaku. For teeth, unpopped popcorn. For brain, cauliflower. And for eyeballs, peeled grapes, as you do. I'm really excited. I never wanted to stick my hand in these things. Whenever they had them, I would always just put my hand in the box, and everyone's like, is it gross? Is it gross? And I would never touch the thing because textures really bother me when I'm eating them or touching them. So while I've played this game, I've never actually played this game because I've never actually touched any of the things inside. I'm a cheater. Hey guys, it's Tuesday, and I know that back when I first made the introduction video for this, I said if you guys have any questions, please let me know and I'd love to try and answer them. And for the first time, I actually have some questions from you guys. They weren't posed specifically for this video, but they were asked. So I'm going to answer a couple of them right here. There are really only like 3. Okay, first one. I hate fish. I want to come to Japan. Will I starve? No, I actually don't like fish at all, to the point where I'd gag if I ever had to eat it back home. The fish here, while the fish here is actually a lot better, I still don't eat it here. If you want sushi, you go to a sushi restaurant. So I don't go to sushi restaurants. I think I've been to one for a celebration for someone else. But other than that, I haven't had to eat fish at all. There is one restaurant that has like a little side dish of fish, and it's like this much fish, and then all the other main course. You just don't eat it. You're supposed to eat everything on your plate, like that's cultural, but you really don't have to. Especially if you're visiting and you're never going back and they're not going to see you and judge you the next time you come in. So yeah, no, there are plenty of things to eat. Japan is really big on carbs and meat. And I know that a lot of people think about Japan as having a lot of vegetables, and they do, but Korea has a lot more vegetable dishes that I've found, rather than Japan. Just going to a restaurant a lot of the times, or getting a bento even at a convenience store, a lot of what you'll have is rice and meat. But yeah, no, vegetables are definitely around, but rice and meat are a good staple. A lot of pork and a lot of chicken. Second question, how cold does it get where you are? Cold! While Yamasaki is actually surrounded by mountains, it's in kind of the valley of the mountains. So the other towns in Shiso, Haga, Chikusa, and Ichinomiya get a lot more snow. We do get some snow. We had a lot more last year than we did the year before, but not so much snow, just cold. It's cold. The latitude is actually about equivalent with the Central Valley of California, even though it seems a lot higher up when you actually look at it on the map and travel the way across. It's Central Valley, California. Hokkaido, which is the northernmost island, the large island at the top of Japan, is actually equal with it's a little bit north of New York. So it's like bottom of Maine. But New York is actually about equivalent with the top of the main island of Japan. So it doesn't get any colder than, say, the East Coast does. But from what I'm used to, it's pretty cold. What's the weirdest thing you've had to eat? Well, I haven't had to eat anything. Well, that's not true. I haven't necessarily had to eat anything, but I've definitely been pressured into eating things. And the weirdest thing I've had to eat, I don't know what it was. Honestly, it was it was at one of the rehearsals for Koto practice, and they actually bring everyone bentos. But it had the consistency of konnyaku, and if you know what konnyaku is, it's this gelatinous, it's someone said it was potato once. Maybe it's made out of potato. I honestly don't know what konnyaku is made out of. If you know what it's made out of, please let me know. Comment something. Tell me what is konnyaku. I think it is some sort of processed potato. It doesn't taste at all like potato. It's kind of a dark brownish color with little black speckles in it. And we're actually going to be using some konnyaku for the heart in the Halloween touch and guess thing. I don't like konnyaku. Anyway, it had kind of that consistency, but it was a mottled brown, and it was in the side dish of this bento. I don't know what it was. There's a lot of things that I've eaten that I just don't know what it was. That's a big difference. If I go to a restaurant somewhere in the United States and there's something on my plate, there isn't usually anything that I can't name. There might be a dish I can't name because I haven't seen those particular ingredients put together that way before, or I don't have a name for it, or if it's a Spanish, well, I know most Spanish dishes from Southern California, but if it's a dish from a Western country that I just don't know the name of, that has happened. But I usually can identify at least, the pieces or the flavors. There's a lot of stuff here where I look down and I go, I don't know what that is. Guess I'm going to find out by eating it. And sometimes after I eat it, I still don't know what it is. But in this case, that strange mottled brown, spongy, jello, gelatinous cube was the weirdest thing I had to eat. Still don't know what it was. All right, those are the only 3 questions I have. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try and answer them, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, it's Wednesday, and it's October 21st, 2015, or as he says it in the movie, 2015. And if you don't already know from all the Facebook posts, because this would have been a week or so ago, or just general news, it is the day that they travel to in the future in Back to the Future 2. And I mentioned, I think, in an earlier video that it was coming up, and then one of my kids had been wearing a Back to the Future blueprint shirt of the DeLorean with the date on the back. And so I knew it was coming soon when I saw his shirt. I'm like, oh, that's this month. And then we checked the date on the back of his shirt, and sure enough, it's the 21st. So I was really excited that my computer turned on the 21st, so I quickly posted. And so yeah, no, that was today, but I'm wearing my 1.21 gigawatts Great Scott t-shirt. I did not wear this to school because this is a t-shirt and would not have been professional. And it's not a weekend, it's a Wednesday, so I couldn't have worn it. But when I got home, I wore it because it seemed fitting. This is the end of the week. It was not an exciting week, and I apologize for that. Today, because it's Wednesday, I went to the al dente place that I usually eat, but my tire got a puncture, and I mentioned it casually as something to say. It didn't puncture my tire all the way, just enough that my back tire was kind of harder to ride on, but it wasn't, the metal rim wasn't on the ground. And I mentioned it in passing to the owner, and he's like, oh, I'll drive you to Eon, which has a bike pump outside of the bike store. And I was like, no, that's okay. Like, really, no, that's okay. And I think he thought I was trying to accept it, but saying no, because as I mentioned to people when I first arrived here, no means yes, and yes also means yes. And there's just no way to say no. And it's something that I dealt with much frustration when I first got here. And I'll go into that more later, but he was really set on, he's like, no, there's not very many customers right now. I'll take you in the van. And his wife and the other person working there are like, oh, no, he'll go. And I'm like, no, it's not all the way flat. I was just, okay. So he saw it and he packed my bike into his van, which was very sweet of him, but his van smelled a lot like smoke, and he decided to smoke in the car. He's like, yeah, I can't smoke in the shop, so I'm going to smoke right now. And this guy's probably in his early 70s. And I'm just like, oh, that's fine. And had I been back in the US, I'd have been like, don't smoke. But here I'm just like, I just like try not to breathe. I'm like, what is this? It's a very different culture, and I'm definitely not completely acclimatized to it, but there's definitely things that I do that I would do differently if I was somewhere else. And so he took me to the place with the bike pump, and he took my bike out of the car. I said thank you, and I pumped up my bike and went home. And I feel like anywhere else that would be kind of creepy, like this old guy giving me a ride home, but it wasn't at all. I've been going to this restaurant for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and the idea of someone helping someone else out, especially since it's a small town, but also just in Japan, is very accepted. Like if a teacher is at a school and a kid is waiting there for their parents, but the parents hasn't come, it's not only not weird, it's expected for the teacher to deal with that child, to find out what's wrong, to take them home, I've heard of teachers taking the kids to like their doctor's appointments. The teachers become like another parent, and it's expected for them to do things like that for the kids. So it's a very different, I read an article about someone from my old junior high, a teacher who had driven a kid home who had been waiting for his parents, and then she ended up getting like arrested because the mom's like, you shouldn't have had my kid in your car. And she's like, gosh, she's taking him home. And the kid falsely accused her of something because he was feeling stressed out by his mom, and the teacher loses her job. She got off of the charges, but had to claim assault for a hug or something. It was ridiculous. Basically, she lost her job and she can never be a teacher again, and she can't live near a school. And it's just this whole mess. And I don't think either way that they do it, because here the teachers are almost burdened. Like they have all of these children that they are expected to be parents for as well as teachers for, which is too much. And then we have the United States on the other hand, and I can't speak for any other country because I haven't lived in any other country and I haven't had experience with their school system. The teachers have almost no authority anymore. And I hear a lot of people who are afraid, they're afraid every year that they're going to get fired because of other teachers having tenure, or if they grade a student badly, if the student complains to their parents and their parents makes a nightmare for the school, then they'll have, it's just a mess. And So neither is quite right, but I'm babbling. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Bento or obento. This is a single serving meal packed in a box that is usually taken for lunch, to school, or to work. It can be made at home or purchased at a convenience store or restaurant. Bentos usually include rice, fish or meat, and pickled vegetables, though a large variety of food is definitely used. Very cute bentos are often found in elementary school lunches.